Hello and welcome to another coaching session from leadershipmentor.com. Most of us have had the opportunity to do yard work, and I have a yard that it's mostly rock. And it doesn't actually look this bad, but there have been times when it does. And so I'll go out into the yard, I'll pull these weeds, I'll spend several hours doing it, and I will get the majority of the weeds. And so I can step back to the street and I can say, okay, my yard looks better. But the next weekend, there are weeds that come back up. So, I say, where do those weeds come from? And the problem is, I'm not looking close enough and getting the small weeds, right? So I give those small weeds that are either something that I didn't see, I didn't look for, or I just didn't think that you can't see them from the street, so I didn't pull them. So the next weekend, those small weeds have an entire week to grow, and so next weekend, my job of pulling weeds in the front yard start all over again. And in leadership, it's really the same way. We have big weeds that we address every day as leaders. So we have things like maybe someone didn't show up for work. Maybe, their insubordination that's taking place. Or maybe you have somebody who just outright yells at a customer. These are three examples of big weeds or things that in leadership we really need to address. They're very obvious to everybody, and not addressing them probably would impact our position and our ability to actually be a leader long term. And so these are very obvious things that we address. But what about the small weeds in leadership? What are the things like and maybe they did show up for work, but maybe they're consistently 5 minutes late. Not really a big deal. They're here. Most people didn't notice it. They came in. They're here. They're working. So I can turn an eye to that, and maybe I don't have to address it, right? Um, Maybe they weren't really insubordinate, but maybe after you ask them to do something, maybe they go back and they start talking to the team members. They disagree, or they think that it's kind of a silly thing for you to ask. They do it, but they talk about it, they complain about it. Or maybe they don't just outright yell at a customer, but maybe they're just rude. Maybe there's a tone that's very obvious that needs to be addressed. But in reality, when you look at it, they followed procedures. They told the customer the right thing, so they're probably doing okay, right? Well, I got to tell you, these are the small weeds and the things that we do every day that if we choose to overlook them, these will become the big weeds of tomorrow, the big problems. And if you think about the things that you're addressing, the kind of the fires that you're trying to put out, oftentimes you can think back and say, that was something that I knew about. Wasn't really a problem, and it just kind of grew into this massive issue. And so that's really what I want to share with you today in our coaching session is just simply, small weeds become big weeds and small problems become big problems. And so in leadership, we have to learn to deal with the small problems, the things that we really have to look for, the things that maybe aren't obvious to everybody, but we know that those are going to become larger problems down the road. And so it's you're not always putting out these major fires if you learn to look at these small problems and deal with them. So for example, if you have a team member that shows up 5 minutes late and they haven't been late before, maybe that's not a big deal. But then, the next day they show up 5 minutes late again. Well, now you really need to address that. You need to talk to them and say, you've had pretty good attendance in the past. The last 2 days you've been 5 minutes late. I understand, not a big deal, but I really want to emphasize the importance of being here and ready to work on time, right? So you have to address things that way in order for them not to become a large problem. So I really want to encourage you to take a look. What are the small weeds in my day-to-day work that I'm overlooking that are going to become potential big weeds or big problems in the future? So that's it for this week. I hope you have a great week. I really want to encourage you to sign up for our premium coaching program where every week you will actually get a 10 to 15-minute video and we'll go much more in depth in this. And I think it's going to really help you grow as a leader. That's it. I hope you have a great day and a great week, and I'll talk to you again soon.